Welcome back to the Auto Insider. I'm Daryl Kelly. This is where you come to find out what's new, what's hot, and what's not in the automotive industry. Well, we're just coming back from a 5-hour road trip in this new Cadillac XT4. This has a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. Did pretty good on the road. Backseat could have used a little more space. Would love to have had that smart cruise control like in the Escalade. And we sure would have liked a lot more cargo space. Took 4 people and our luggage. Weren't able to take along the beach chairs, floaties, any of those things because there wasn't enough room inside. So if you're looking at one of these XT4s, my first piece of advice for you is make sure you get a way to carry things on those roof racks. We're gonna see just what this all-wheel drive compact SUV has to offer. There's room for all size SUVs these days. Let's see how this XT4 fits into our lifestyle. Let's go inside and take a look from the driver's seat. And as you can tell from the solid thump of that driver's door, this XT4 is every bit the luxury of a Cadillac. When we sat inside of this vehicle, first thing we noticed was this upgraded option of leather seating surfaces. Quality everywhere. I even like this baseball mint color interior in here. I think it goes well with the black exterior, which was another one of the options on this vehicle. You have stitching along the dash here that coincides with the color of the seats, really makes a statement and shows attention to detail. It even carries all the way along the door panels into the back seat. Cadillac is a luxury brand, and even though this one is small, it packs a big punch. All of your controls here on the steering wheel. This side controls for your hands-free access to your phone that's connected through Bluetooth wireless. You also have your smart cruise control. This is how you turn it on and off. You can set your speeds. This is where you set the distance. The gaps from the cars ahead of you when you're on a long road trip worked really well. On this side of the steering wheel, you have your radio controls, volume controls, and you can also navigate through this instrument cluster here and go back to all the pertinent information that you may or may not need. Cadillac leaves you options for you to customize information pages the way that you see fit. Like I say, we did really good on this road trip. We had great fuel efficiency, average 25.2 miles on about I guess we did about a 450, 500 mile road trip. We kept it in 2-wheel drive for the majority of the drive, so that was great for fuel economy. We did run into a little bad weather. When we did, we reached down to our drive modes and we switched it over into all-wheel drive on the fly for added stability. Drive mode controls right here. So you have sport, off-road, touring is what we use most of the time and what I recommend, and then all-wheel drive. This is a feature that I'm liking on a lot of cars these days, is the ability to navigate through the infotainment system from here. It looks a little bit confusing probably now, but once you've been driving it for a couple of days, everything makes sense. Volume control, change my radio settings and controls from here. This is how we choose our radio stations, navigation. This is how you go back like any other computer, and this is for your phone controls. You can either turn, slide left to right, or push to make choices for what you need. Really self-explanatory, easy to use and control while you're driving the vehicle. Really like that feature. So not only do you have touchscreen options on this legible touchscreen here, but you also have these physical buttons for your heating and AC. You have physical buttons for your heated and ventilated seats. While our model does not have the heated and ventilated seats operating at this time, I'm sure it's a computer shortage chip problem. However, on the Monroney sticker, there's an indication and itemization there that those features, once available, will be installed at no additional charge to the owners of the vehicle. The shifter, really like the way it works. It's back for reverse, and that's when you get this high definition rear view, front view, side view, 360 camera. We love these features. The turn signal stalk has your controls for your headlights, your auto dimming headlights, which is a great feature when you're driving on back roads that don't have a lot of lights. You have your rain sensing windshield wipers, intermittent wipers, as well as your rear wiper control right here on the stalk on this side. And you'll notice again, those paddle shifters. Just here on the left of the steering wheel, you have your electronic parking brake and your heads up display controls. You look here, the heads up is right where you want it to be. But depending on your seating position, you can adjust that up and down. And you can also change what information is displayed in your heads up display. So it's customizable for the driver. You can do what makes you comfortable. Loaded with cameras. Rear view mirror doubles as a backup camera or a standard mirror. In a vehicle of this size, space becomes a premium. Storage here has a tray that you can keep things that you use frequently, and then just below that tray, you can keep things that you're not going to use quite as much. When we come back up, you see here we have the wireless charger for your smartphones. Like to have seen larger cup holders, but you do have USB charging ports, USB-C fast chargers, and additional storage here on the side of the center console. Surprisingly, the back seat room is actually pretty decent for a vehicle of this size. You have a USB and a USB-C fast charger and heated second row seats. You have cup holders here, decent headroom. One of the things that my teenager mentioned was these back seats don't recline. And after a 5-hour trip to the beach, then that gets to be a little bit uncomfortable. Aside from that, not bad. But the two teenagers back here opted for something else for the next family road trip. Then you have to have the panoramic roof. In a vehicle of this size, it really does make it feel a lot larger. However, we did notice on that long road trip, the heat did get a bit unbearable, so we ended up closing it. But it's a great feature, especially riding around town and at night. Luxury SUV these days almost has to have a panoramic roof. And what's a luxury SUV without the modern day conveniences? Hands-free, liftgate, cargo cover, which we always like to see in an SUV. A little bit of underfloor storage here because there's no spare tire. But you do have an inflator kit for the outside chance you get a nail in your tire. And if this vehicle had a spare tire, we think it would be even less cargo space. And that would really be a bust, even for a compact SUV. So for our family road trip, we actually had to leave this cargo cover behind. And another great feature is we can fold these second row seats down. There's a 60-40 split. So if you have to carry odd-shaped cargo, I don't know if you really want to carry cargo in your luxury SUV. And if you have to make those trips, at least it's good to know you can do it here in this XT4. That's one of the other reasons we buy SUVs. That's all the time we have today, but for more of what's new, what's hot, and what's not, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and download the SoundCloud app and listen to all of our reviews in their entirety. 2022 Cadillac XT4 all-wheel drive. We think this is a really nice vehicle for a small family or empty nesters. If you got a growing family, this may not be the vehicle for you if you're taking long road trips. However, we did it, family of 4, all of our luggage, got there and got back and had a great time in this XT4. And this 4-cylinder, not bad at all. This 9-speed transmission, we love it. It's every bit of Cadillac. And if you don't need a large SUV, this small SUV could be the right vehicle for you. Until next week, I'm Daryl Killian for the Auto Insider.